Hello and welcome to Facebook Live with Selene Kempton. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I think I'm supposed to say that, but I'm gonna wait for you guys to get logged in and find us, and then I'm gonna go and share this over to our creative group. Let's see, share to a group. Thanks for being patient. Thanks for coming to find us. All right, we're just about ready to go here. When you're here, just let us know where you're from. I'm from Drake, Massachusetts. I spent the weekend in the White Mountains of New Hampshire, and I am home. And today we released the Stamp Out Breast Cancer annual fundraiser. So I have a lot to share, and we're gonna make a pop-up card. Isn't this cool? So hopefully you haven't already seen one of these, but I thought it was really cool. My team, every month we have a swap, and this is my swap. And this was me working out my swap. If you want to see underneath, you can see how many times I pulled it apart before I figured it out. So hopefully you won't have to pull yours apart as many times as I did mine to get going. All right, so just let me know where you're from, and we will get started. I see that there's a few of you online. Hello, everyone. All right. Hey, Mary Jo. Oh, so good to see you, my friend. I was just talking about you last night. We miss you on Mondays. We have a friend chat group every Monday night, and we get together on Zoom and we craft. And this is what I came up with because I need team swaps. So there's 10 of us swapping this month. So I'm going to make 12 of these, including this one that's all messed up on the inside because of the amount of times I ripped it apart. But that's what I do. I mess things up so that we can come together and make them, and hopefully it looks a little more polished when I do it the second time, but you just never know because we are on the fly. Hey, Michelle from Naples, Florida, and Peggy from Arizona. Yay. Hey, Cheryl from New Hampshire. I love it. Okay, so this is Stamp Out Breast Cancer Month. Did you know that 1 in 8 women will get diagnosed with breast cancer in their lifetime? Isn't that crazy? We miss you too, Mary Jo. So every year we come together as a crafting community to raise money for making strides against breast cancer, but it's a division of the American Cancer Society. So if you know anybody that's suffering from any cancer, you can Google this thing called the 1-800-CANCER phone number, and American Cancer Society pops up, and they have a whole list of resources. If you're on my email list, I emailed out the resource list this morning, because if you know anybody that has any cancer, they can take advantage of this service that the American Cancer Society provides, and we raise money towards those services so that hopefully someday we'll have a world without cancer, because we know cancer stinks. That wasn't the first word that came in, but I have to edit, right? This is a family show. So to start, I designed 5 projects, and these projects will be at the live event in Drake, Massachusetts. I've already done all the die cutting and all the designer paper for all the teams, and we're making 96 packets for those that come out. And I'll give you a quick sneak peek of the cards. So this is card 1, Stepping Stones, and alone we can do so little. Mary Jo, you'll love this. Together we can do so much. That's like Mary Jo and Mai's mantra. But there's so many of you that we team up and we do a lot together, which is good, because if it was up to me, it wouldn't happen, you know. Great works are performed not by strength, but by perseverance. Follow your own star. And we put a star on there. Actually, Cheryl, who's on here, gave me the idea for this one with that star punch. Really cool. And dream no small dreams. So there'll be a full tutorial for anybody who donates. $25 or more. If you come to the door, so it's also an in-person event, but you have to donate online to get into the venue that day. And you're donating direct to the charity. We don't take any money. It's all volunteers. So round of applause for all the volunteers who donate, who come to the event, who donate a raffle item. And by the way, if they donate a raffle item when they get to the door, we give them an extra entry into the door prize. But anybody online or in person is entered into the door prize automatically by donating $25. And then it comes with a full PDF tutorial with the supply list of everything we used. And in years past, people have taken our directions and created their own event around the 5 cards. Well, this year we also, it's upside down. This year we also have 12 demonstrators all across the country that are each going to do another PDF using this stamp set called Stepping Stones. And they're each donating 1 PDF. So my friend Mary is going to put all of those PDFs together, and we're going to send you out the card tutorial from the live event, but we're also going to send you all of the cards tutorials for all of them. So right now, I think that's like 17 cards, but it could be more if we get, like, say Kathy says she wants to donate one, or Mary Jo, maybe she wants to do one, but we're using this stamp set and it's pretty darn cool. I used 5 of the 6 sentiments in the original class. So let's flip the camera and we'll play with this. And then I have more to show you. We did Stamp and Blends last week, and somebody asked me a question last night on Monday night about what another technique for making it look smoother if you're not like real comfortable with blends. So I'm going to show you another way to use Stamp and Blends, and then we'll make that standing pop card. And I have little chicken scratch notes here so that you guys can have all the measurements and stuff. So let's flip the camera. Whoop, in theory. Ha, close up. Didn't mean to do that, but that's okay. We'll cover the camera up while I am putting it in the clip, and we'll see where we end up. All right, I can see Kathy's comments. That's good. Let's see if that's okay. And well, it might be too far. You can see my shoes, so yeah. All right, so that's better. Now I've got your comments over here, and I've got you right here, so hopefully we're gonna go good. Yeah, so let me show you another snippet of that Pop-It card. And then these are the cards for the fundraiser. So just a quick snippet of them. They're really awesome. And you know what? We're not asking for anything. We're not taking any money. You get the directions by donating direct to the charity. And I will put the link to the team page right here in the comments as soon as I am done. Okay, woosah. This is the stamp set that we're using, and the only card that I haven't designed a card with, the only sentiment, is this: wrinkles should merely indicate where smiles have been. So maybe we'll stick that on a block and start there. I know I had some blocks in here. My table is a huge disaster because it is design day. I have my team meeting on Sunday at 3 for online and at 2 in person. So they come early to make the make and takes if they're in person, and we get a little bit of time to make the cards. And then we jump online with the full team, and we are coast to coast, which is pretty awesome. And we get to spend some time together crafting. All right, I left my sketch over on the printer. So for this one, we are starting legit from scratch. The only thing that I know, hey Debbie, is that I want to make a card using this: wrinkles should merely indicate where smiles have been. So that's a pretty loaded sentiment. Let's grab a designer paper. Last time we played with this one, and we only used one of the patterns, but I kind of like it. It's the Abigail Rose designer paper. And I have a couple of card bases here ready to go, so maybe we'll use those. What about, I don't know, what do you think? So I'm going to pick 2 patterns, and then I'm going to let you, or actually I lied, I'm going to pick 3. And like I said, the sentiment is: Wrinkles should merely indicate where smiles have been. I just want to peek at the back. Oh, look, that looks like old, like, ledger paper. All right, I'm going to give you 4 choices. Look at that. So you can vote. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. So 3 is the darkest one. 2 is the medium one. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And you tell me which designer paper we want to use. Actually, I'm looking at this white, and it's basic white's a little bright. I might even come in with shimmer white for the base on this. So far we've got 1 vote for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I declare a thumb war. 3. Oh, so somebody likes the tulips. Those are so pretty. And these are these roses or are they peonies? I don't know. They could be like really big, bright roses, or they could be peonies. And then that's number 2. And there's 1. 4, 4, 3. I'm going to give you another couple of minutes. And actually, while we're doing that, let's take a look at the sketch. So this sketch has some cut shapes, 2.5-inch circle. I'd have to break into my circle dies for that, or maybe we could put an oval there. I have some ovals that are on pre-order right now as for demonstrators. I'll have to show you those. We can get there in a few minutes, but let's see. Love the black and white. So that's a vote for number 1. So right now we have 1 vote for number 1, 2 votes for number 4, and 1 for number 3. And I'll give you 1 more minute, and then we'll get moving on this. And then I'm gonna slash my paper. Isn't that the way? All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Number 4 is the winner. All right, so for now, I'm going to put this off to the side. For those of you that voted for other patterns, well, I'm sorry if I broke your heart. So we need a card base, and nothing says I love you like cutting a card base out of shimmery white, because you only get 10 sheets on a package. But that's exactly what we're going to do, because I am feeling it. The runner-up was, let me see, 4, 4, 4, 1. Okay. Maybe we'll take number 3 and we'll use 2 patterns on this. Because then it would be all brown tones. So I scored at 4 1/4, and now I am lining this up. This paper cutter, I don't even need to have the measurements because I know that the line that goes the whole length of the paper trimmer is 5 1/2. Stampin' Up! Did that because they know that we're mainly card makers here. I mean, I love to scrapbook too and make home decor, but the 5 1/2 line is a super helpful thing to have a line like that on a trimmer. All right, so these are shimmery white bases. If you can't see the shimmer, I'm sorry, but I promise it's there. Oh yeah, no. Well, they're a little bit. Okay, so here, let's come back to our sketch, and 1 designer paper is gonna be 3 1/4 by 4, and that's the biggest one. That was the number 1 pick, was number 4. So I'm gonna cut the paper 4 by 3 1/4, and it's really cool because we don't even need to think about it because we're using a sketch. So 4 by 3 1/4. Here we go. I love on the fly. It makes card making so easy, and the only thing better than on the fly is a sketch. So number 3 was the runner up. Oh, thanks, Chris. Yeah, you'd never noticed that. You know, Stampin' Up! Did a good job when they designed this trimmer. I like the lines every 1/4 inch. It makes things so easy when you're doing measurements. And then anything that's a weird measurement, like an 1/8, is in between those two lines. So the 1/8 is the two lines between those long lines. And then of course the 16th is the one that happens right beside it. Okay, so this one is marked on the sketch as 4 1/4 by 2. But on our pattern, I think I want the 2 inch to be the tall side. So I'm gonna do the 2 inch first. And then I'm gonna cut it down to 4 1/4. So 2. I love it when you guys tell me that you learned something, because, you know, it makes me know that what I'm doing is a good thing and I should keep going, right? So 2 by 4 1/2. Here we go. Do I want that piece? Let's see where this side ends up. I'm so weird about patterns. I like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna make it bigger on purpose because I like that flower. And then I'm gonna cut the 4 1/2 out of the middle somewhere. That's totally not like, I wanted that piece because this is gonna stick up over this piece. So I wanted to kind of highlight the flower there, right? So let's come back to the sketch for a second. So yeah, that's how it's gonna sit, but I'm gonna probably lift it up a little higher to get it to sit. And it's funny because I'm looking at the pattern on this now and thinking I should have gone the other way. It's 3 1/4 by 4, huh? Let's go again. That's awfully particular, but I want the sketch to go the right way, right? I want the flowers to be not sideways. So 3 1/4. Let's see, we'll cut a little off this side. Yeah. And I want to like keep that flower whole on the end there. Oh yeah. So we did waste a little paper, but I could make another card out of that. But it just seems like it's going the wrong way for our sketch, right? It's like I'm creatively waking up now. Okay. So here we go. And then that's gonna sit on here. It does feel like it's missing something, doesn't it? This looks like crumb cake and this looks like espresso to me. So what if I trimmed this a little bit more and put a layer underneath? Hey, by the way, when you're cutting your card bases, sometimes you end up with this little piece in the front, and either I wasn't right on the 4 1/4 inch mark, or maybe my paper was slightly bigger than 8 1/2, because at the home office, the paper comes in on these big sheets and they cut them down to 8 1/2 by 11. So sometimes it's not true 8 1/2 by 11. So if that ever happens to me, I don't sweat it, but this is going to be my card front so that the long side is in the front and you don't get to see it. So let's do that. And I'm going to grab a little bit of the espresso cardstock. And you might hear me going out, but that's because I'm running around the room. Because we're on the fly today. And I'm going to get a piece of espresso to put there. And then, I don't know. How about some ribbon? Sorry about that. Okay, talk amongst yourselves. Here we go. So I've got a crumb cake ribbon that matches the ink on this. I know we have an espresso ribbon, and I pulled the gold because it's awful pretty. I'm excited, so I'm a little shaky today. I don't know what's going on, but I've been like this all day. Probably with the fundraiser, it always like gets me excited. Okay, so there's also gold. So if you want, I'll take one away so you can see. But let's go, instead of going 1, 2, 3, 4, let's say that this is, the thick ribbon is ribbon A. Okay, and then we'll say that the gold is ribbon B. So while I'm cutting a layer to go behind this. You guys can vote for, let's see, let's do it again, A or B, okay? So B is the gold. It makes it easier if you don't have to type the whole thing in, I think. So I think I'm gonna go like a whole 1/4 inch bigger because we can always cut it down if it's too thick. So this is 4.5. I think, is it? Did I do 4 or 4.5? Oh, no, I'm gonna go 4 1/4. Oh, I did 4 1/4. I just said 4.5. So it's 4 1/4. And then this piece here was 3 1/4. So I'm gonna go 3.5. So just up a 1/4 inch on both sides. And again, the lines go the whole length. So I know that I'm straight without having to mess with it too much. My guillotine cutter doesn't have that. It's got it every 1/4 inch, and it's not as happy when I go to put it together. Okay, so this is that matted. And it does mess with my layout a little bit. I'm okay with that. What do you guys think? Gold. So A, let's see, A, B, A, B, B. All right, so gold. Interesting. Okay. Gold it is. So the other thing I have on here is a focal point that is a circle. So let me see if I can find something. It's this 2.5 inch circle, but I'm just gonna go in my cabinet for the sake of time and grab the biggest circle I can find. I think the one that I have might be retired, but this is a 2 inch. So we'll start with that. I can also pull my all my scraps, but they are all bright white, and I've been working with shimmery white. So that's certainly an issue. I don't know. Let's see what let's start to play and see what we come up with. Whew. I don't like it when winter comes. My hands get real cold. So yeah, Sunday's the team meeting. Tomorrow we are going to visit 2 different colleges with Alexis. And then tomorrow night we have tickets for a show in Worcester, Mass. For those of you not from Massachusetts, it's spelled Worcester. And I don't even know what show it is other than my daughter was excited to go see it. And I said, okay, let's go. You know, because that's what moms do. Let's see. That's a little low. This is how I ended up with all of those tears in the other card. But it is what it is. Just, if this bothers you, just block your eyes. It's all good. What would really help with this is the back side of the Take Your Pick has a spatula. So I bet you if I use that, I would have better luck. See? Because it's got a little bit of release me under there. There. The spatula treatment. A new technique, go figure. Too funny. I have a couple of friends that are like, Selene, I can't believe you just did that. That's okay though. So I'm gonna make a little border down here, and I'm gonna make 2 sides equal to make this look right. And then this circle looks tiny. That's okay. Let's see what else we have. I have been playing with these other things that aren't available yet. And I'll show you all the dies here in a minute. But before we do that, oh, I didn't even cut the right color though. Wouldn't it be cool to put, oh. Okay, so hang on. Does it even, if you put an oval there, does it even need another layer? Like, is the layer, the oval, the open oval itself to spotlight that flower? And can we get away with just putting a sentiment? So what if we take the leftover piece of brown and we'll cut an oval to match, and then we'll put a sentiment. Oh, the sentiment's huge though. The one I had in mind is gigantic, but it'll be okay. Let me grab those dies. Okay. Well, I wasn't planning to do that, but it is what it is. Let's see. Goodness gracious. See what happens when you're on a creative day. It's all fun and games until you can't find your dies. I bet you they're over by the big shot. Nope. They're not there either. All right, well, ovals it's not. We'll come back to that after. I swear I had them on the table to show you, and that's how I lost them. So they're probably buried under here somewhere, but we'll come back to those. Let's just use a circle to get this done. But I don't know if it's going to be as cool because the oval would spotlight that paper and then we wouldn't need to cut into it, right? Darn it. Okay. I have to get more assertive in finding my dies. Or either that or I have to open another set. So I have a set of these all set to go for Prize Patrol. So this is a stamp set that we are using at the team meeting on Sunday. And I started, yep, that's it. I'm going to have to open one. So whoever wins this at the team meeting will have to know that I used it to cut one thing. I'm shaking my head here. I know you can't see me. So these are, let's come back. I'm going to change directions a little and talk about these dies. And watch me find them once I open them. Because that's how Murphy's Law works, right? So, first of all, somebody's about to ring my doorbell, I think. Or maybe it's my mother-in-law's. So if you hear the doorbell go off, don't pay no attention. I'm certainly not going to. These dies are pretty cool. This is a die for like a swath of flowers, and then it's got a couple of leaves. I wanted to show you all the pieces by themselves. So here's the leaves. And then another flower, and these go with stamps, okay? Put that to the side for a second. Then there's this oval die that cuts this oval by itself. And then this falls out of the middle. So I have two of those because I also did this one, which it's an oval, but it doesn't, we don't have any ovals right now. So I'm super excited about these coming out. So there are 3 ovals. There are this one where the middle falls out, this one where the middle falls out, and this one where you just get the hearts and the middle stays intact. But then you can layer them, look at, like that. And when you put one inside the other, like they are right here, you can cut the middle out. So that's how I ended up with 2 sets of these, because this was all on one swipe. And I got that oval that I could put, for example, this behind and have like a spotlighted section of my rose. Too cool, huh? So it comes with 3 big ovals and then all of the stuff that goes with the stamp set. And let me get the stamp set. So this is all for demonstrators on pre-order. And that's why I'm showing it at my team meeting, but it's coming out November 1st. And right now there's a starter kit deal where you can pick out $155 of whatever you want. And you pay $99, you get free shipping, and you can sign up to be a demonstrator. But even better is you get a 20% ongoing discount. And whenever things come out, you're the first to see them like me. So, plus we have team meetings and creative challenges and all of that. But that's why I switched gears, because I was like, you have to see these dies if we're going to cut into them. So I think I just want this piece, which is this one by itself, in the early espresso. Whew. So if you're still here, let's see. It's October. What's your favorite thing to do in October? I like to go apple picking. Let me know what your favorite thing is, and I'm gonna go cut this. I don't know what I did with those dies. It is absolutely hysterical that I can't find those dies, because that's one of the things I was going to show you today, and that I had to open a new one. But just that one swipe with this one die, I got the oval for the inside. I got the oval that we want. Here, I'm going to put that die back. Geesh. And then we can continue building our card. But I wanted you to see these pieces, and maybe we can make another card after using them. But this is all coming out November 1st for everybody else. And if you're interested in coming to see what the team meeting is about, send me a private message and I'll send you an invite as soon as it's up. So let's put this oval on. I kind of like it right there. So let's grab some glue. Apple picking, pumpkin spice, and enjoying the scenery. Yeah. This weekend, leaf peeping was just amazing. My tree up in New Hampshire was almost all red. The tree that I started my business logo after is up in New Hampshire, and it's shaped like a heart just naturally, and for people who don't know. And we get to see it in its full glory this weekend. So I'm putting an oval there. And like I said, these ovals will be out November 1st for everybody else, but they're pre-order. If you're a demonstrator, you can get them. And the stamp set, Framed Florets, is the same name as the dies. We've been asking forever. Framed Florets dies, Framed Florets stamp set. I mean, happy days. All right. I know it seems like something little, but it's a big deal to me. All right, let's come back. I punched a circle out of this thinking that we'd put a circle there, but I don't want to cover that up. So how about if we grab some espresso ink and put our wrinkle sentiment on this. Alexis got apple cider over the weekend. She was craving it, and she never wants apple cider, so it was interesting. We got a little bottle and she heated it up and we made a campfire. It was a nice, just a nice time. And we made friends with the people. We usually have a big group that we go camping with, and eventually, like, some of them went seasonal, different places, and that's a little crooked. I usually like to try and get my, yeah, that should be better. Let's go this way. So yeah, some of our friends have gone seasonal, but we went back to the campground that we've been going to since she was a baby. So, and it's nice to see, it was up in Woodstock, New Hampshire, and it's nice to see some of the commerce coming back to that area. Like, you can really see, it's still a little crooked, but that's fine. I'm moving on. Here we go. So I'm going to cut this down. I'm going to say 1 inch. And then to get our, I'm just going to go ahead and pretend it's straight. Actually, I can sort of make this straight, right? Did you know that it is impossible for the human hand to cut a straight line? And that's why most artists, like in architecture, use rulers. That's my art degree paying for itself right there, so I can give you art tips. Okay, so here we go. Thanks for everybody for hanging out with me today. This has been really, really fun. I like it, but I don't love the white right there, so maybe that's where maybe the ribbon will come in. But I also kind of want to get a little more color on there. So how about if we tighten up this V, or this slash, or whatever you want to call it. I'll make it a little, a little taller so it's not so out there. And then right in the ink pad. So this is not for the faint of heart, and you definitely don't want to touch it until it's dry because it'll end up all over you. But I am just literally dunking it in the ink pad. And sometimes when you need another layer, you want a layer of color, but you don't necessarily want a layer of paper. So that's what I'm doing. I'm making this a little bit in here. This side's a little light. So I'll give that a second to set up, and we can play with that ribbon. Hey, Jill. Good to see you, Jill. Thanks, everybody, for saying hello and letting me know that you're here. Keeps me going, just so you know. Okay. We could do one of those, the Z. I don't want to go too high with the Z because I don't want to eat into the flower. So I'm going to start it going that way, which is kind of different because like the slashes are going this way. So this will be interesting to see how it comes out. And I am making just a Z or an N on the back. I don't try and bunch it up or get it crazy or anything. I just kind of do it more inline. So if I were to flip it over, you've got like a backward Z there. It makes it easy to get it on there and it doesn't look messy. I used to always just bunch it up and it never looked right, so. Going to the beach and watching monarch butterfly migration. Oh. So that, I saw a meme on Facebook about that, Jill, about monarch butterfly migration, that they have to turn into a pile of goo before they become beautiful. I think I feel the same way about my journey sometimes. But hopefully we all get to the butterfly stage, right? Okay, let's see. Oh yeah, that's good because now the ribbon isn't interfering with the flower at all, but it's right there. What do you think? So, our sketch is still under here. Here's the sketch. Here's what we did. So I moved the sentiment over. I could have gone that way, but then my ribbon would have messed with my flowers. So I'm glad that I stopped there. All right, so let's move on. I want to show you, I was talking to my friend last night, and she was saying that I do a good job with blends. And I have one more tip for you. So last week, we went over a bunch of different ways to use blends. And this week, I am making my swaps with them. So here's my swap. Well, like, here's part of my swap. This is like the unbuilt part. And I just have one quick tip for you. And if you're new to blends and you're not having the same effect that I had last week, and you say it's because you're not an artist, I'll tell you, you don't have to be an artist. These are beginner alcohol markers, but I do have a cool tip for you. So for this one, I'm going to color. So let me just say I started by coloring, by stamping an evening evergreen. So the sentiment and the image is an evening evergreen. And then I took my Wink of Stella brush and moved the ink to get it to color in green, okay? Now, because that's classic ink, when I go to color on top of it with my alcohol-based marker, the ink isn't gonna move. So you can use any color on the base of your blends marker. As long as you let it dry, it's gonna be fine. So you can go over and legit just scribble to start. Okay, so far, check. I can scribble, right? So we'll do that, and I'm just kind of getting the color on there. Now, the other thing you want to keep in mind, and look at how bad that blend is. I have to order new Balmy Blue blends. I've really done a number on these. So we'll color, and we're going to color up to the line, but not over it. So like, you know how you want to feel like you want to color right to the line? Color right before it, because blends tends to spread. So if I were to like put my blend here and chat for a minute, you can see how it's oozing out, and I don't need to move my marker to get it to ooze. So just be aware of that when you are coloring, and not color too close to the edge or you'll spill over. So I guess that I have 2 tips. That's the first one. So we'll get it all colored in. And this is with that new set that's coming out in November. And like I said, it's my swap for this week for my team. So I have to get these done and in the mail by the 20th. So that's not too bad, but I'm way ahead. I'll be getting them done so that I can move on. So here's my color lifter. I want to show you the difference. So this is one solid color, and this is after my color lifter. So how did you do that, Selene? Well, the first thing I did was I went in the sections that were lightest by the artist, and I used the fat end of the color lifter to get into the largest open sections and pull up the first level of color. Then I stopped for a second. And while I was doing that, I was coloring the next one. So I gave it that amount of time. I would legit sit and color the next one. So, but you know, it's not too bad, because then by the time it lifts to the section that you want, you're ready to lift the next flower, and round we go, right? So making my swaps isn't a big deal. I can have these colored in probably a half an hour. Here we go. And now that I've committed, I don't want to like do half of it and not finish. So I'll do one flower, and I see that where that's lifting, but you really want to give it a minute. We used to do that old bleach technique, and it wouldn't be the right color right away. You had to wait. So here we go. Now that I can see what's going on here, I got a couple of weird lines. Okay, and then this part didn't lift as much as the other part at all, which is funny. So I can go back over that and see where I'm at. And while I'm waiting for that side to catch up to this side, I'm going to go back to this single guy and do him. Okay. Then I can see now I've got both light to dark on both. This one's almost dry. I'm still going to give it a second. It is what it is. You have to have patience with this. Then once it's all set, you take the lifter and you can go over the whole thing one more time and let it sit for a second. And while we're doing that, I'm going to fill in this one. So like I'm always working on the next flower. Like until I run out, I won't be not doing something. But you also notice I am going kind of fast, so I can outline, make this all one color and not worry. But I don't mess around with it. I kind of get it in there and fill it in and then be done with it. Okay, so now this is all light as opposed to the ones that have a little more detail. So this one's got more depth, right? So at this point, once I've done the highlight in certain areas and then I lighten the whole thing to soften the lines, now I'm going to take the thin end, the one with the thin line, and go back in, and wherever there's an artist line, that's where I'm going to add my accent colors. So you go with the line, here's your accent color, ta-da. Okay. And I'd like that to be. So now you get this stark dark to light contrast, and in the middle you have it, the flower is almost glowing. So if you were out and it was a bright sunny day, this flower would be reflecting all of that light, and you would get the dark to light that you need. And then of course I added Wink of Stella. Now at this point, I added Wink of Stella, but if you go over the whole thing with Wink of Stella, you could move some of the green, because remember, you have that water-based color on the bottom. So if you do so sparingly and try not to drag through the green that you stamped for the base, and then you can still add Wink of Stella to the top. Okay, so ta-da. Well, I wanted to, yeah, Lori, you know, Bonnie was saying the same thing to me last time. She's like, I don't get how you get it so easy. And I'm like, okay, it's time to explain a little bit thicker, because maybe I go too fast thinking that you already know, you know, what's in my brain, which is sort of silly. But I appreciate the questions because it helps me help you guys, you know. So this one is a standing pop card, and I had pieces pre-cut for this, and my table is just a disaster. So hopefully I'll be able to find them. But let's start with this one. This one is 4 1/4 by 10 1/2. And if you're on replay, feel free to pause the video right here and take a screenshot. It was originated by Christy Falk on Split Coast Stampers, standing pop-up card. And the base was 10 1/2 by 4 1/4, and I scored it at 1/2, 1 3/4, 3 3/4, and 5. And then you get it to this point. And this is going to be my my swap from a team. So thank you, Christy, for being brilliant, because I love a good pop-up card. And I put tear and tape at the end. Okay, so there's that. And I'm not going to pull the tear and tape yet because I have a couple pieces I need to find. It's so funny that I can't find them, but it is what it is. I'm going to have to cut them again. So give me 1 second. This one is 4 by 4. And then this one is 2 by 4. So these are the pieces that are going to go on the back panel. This one's 4 by 4. And I know that with the camera, you don't get the depth of it, but this is 4 by 4 and it's going to sit back here. And then this is 2 by 4. And that's on the sheet. And then this one is 3 by 2 3/4. So the thing that we just colored was the first thing, okay? And now I'm going to emboss these, hopefully. I had them, the embossing folder out, but then recut, so it is just going to be one of those days. I can't find the embossing folder. That's hysterical. Well, we're in a video. I don't want to keep you. Oh my goodness. Let me see. I'm going to check one more time underneath all these piles of things. But that's how today is when it's design day, right? That's okay. We'll just make pretend. And I can show you anyway. Darn. So we'll make pretend that I embossed this. And we're going to stick this here. So, you know what? Let's cut some designer paper instead, because you're not going to see it otherwise. Isn't that pretty? I'm happy with the way that came out. Oh my gosh, and look under here. I found them. All right, and we're back. These are the dies that were missing from before. That's so funny. Okay, see, everything was here. So this is 4 by 4, and this is 4 by 2, and I just embossed them. You could also make these with designer paper, but this is my swap, and I wanted it to be clean and pretty and soft and not, it's busy enough. So I didn't do the designer paper, but this designer paper, or the embossed paper, is going to go all the way to the top. And then I'm going to stick this here to make my pop-up part. So This is the part that's going to stand up on my table. Now I have that backing on, I can pull the top, and that's why I had my little, did you know that I have another tip for you? I used to hate tear and tape. It was my best friend's favorite adhesive. And I never knew that you can just start in the middle to pull it up, and then you never have to fuss with getting the ends up. Did you guys know that? It's one of my favorite tear and tape tips since I figured that one out. And you may want to bone folder yours, but try and get it sort of 90 degrees so that when it closes, it's going to close like this, right? So here's the other piece, and I know on the video it's not as prominent as it is in person, but this is in Boston. It's so pretty. So I'm just gonna stick this right over the top. Oh, so this is supposed to be 1 3/4. I was wrong. So this is 4 by 1 3/4. So if you took the picture, I was even wrong on the picture. But it's better to make the card right and to be wrong with the measurement and know what you did. That's what I always ask my daughter if she's gets a bad grade at school. She's like, Mom, this is going to sound funny. My college physics class, I slipped from a 98 to a 94 with just one quiz. It was a bad grade. I'm like, it's going to be okay. You have a 94 in physics? Yeah. Life is going to go on. So we'll take that in perspective. All right. For those of us that are perfectionists, we can't stand that, but it is what it is. So I'm bringing in my scoreboard because it already has all the markings on it, except for 5. I don't have 4 markers anymore, but it's okay. But this one we want to score at 1/2 and 1 3/4. So this piece is 3 by 5 and 1/2. And I think you guys can see where this is going, but you fold it really good. If you want, you can take a bone folder. You guys should see my table off camera. It is pretty comical. It looks like craft or math happened. That's okay. I got another swap card done, right? So here's my tear and tape. And here's our tip for getting it up easy, because if you've ever struggled with tear and tape and you swore you'd never use it again, well, try that way because it works better. And here's the mechanism for the card. So now I'm going to fold this all the way down towards the table. And this is a 4 by 4 square. I don't know if you can see it, but it's a 4 by 4 square sitting on top of my card base. And I'm going to fold this flat and bring this right to the top so that it won't go past the 4 by 4 square. So I'll put that there to start. And then I'm going to put another piece of tear and tape right here. The reason I like this fold is because it's easy. I feel like I can do it. Whoops, I did not. I was laughing so hard I banged my head. It's an affliction. All right. It was originated by Christy Falk, but I don't know how long ago. Okay, so then you fold it flat again and stick this down flat. And then when you pop it up, it pops up like this. Hey, I did it right. Okay, so here's the piece we colored. And this again was 3 by 2 3/4. And now I only have to make 9 more. It's okay if you don't want to stay the whole time. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to do it on camera. Oh my goodness. But I do appreciate you all hanging out with me. So fun folds, huh? It was a great swap theme. our swap coordinator Sharon always comes up with good stuff. Sometimes we do color, sometimes it's a specific stamp set, but this time it was really wide open. And this is that Evening Evergreen. It was originally in the spring catalog and it carried over. Item number, if you want some, is 158135. Let's see. So thank you, everybody. We got a lot coming up. Fundraiser at the end of the month, and I'll be sharing a lot more. There's t-shirt link. You can grab your breast cancer t-shirt to here. Let's chat. You can grab your fundraiser t-shirt to support breast cancer, or if you donate to our charity, we will send you a tutorial afterwards for at least, let me think, 12, 17 cards. Yeah, and totally fun. So that's my version of Christy Fox standing pop-up card, but and some more blends tips. So I love you guys. Today I was like, I had too much to share. I think that's what happened. So my table got dirty, but now I have two made. This one I'm not going to give to anybody because like you can tell I ripped it apart 100 times. So anyway, I love you guys, and I'll see you on Tuesday next week, if not sooner. If you'd like an invite to my team meeting on Sunday in person or to go, just reach out to me because we would love to have you, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks, guys.